Ratios are not a terribly difficult sort of thing. A ratio is nothing more than just comparing numbers kind of in fraction form. Comparing by using, well, you could use a couple different things. The book says division, I guess. Let's go with that. Because there's a couple different ways to write ratios. Let's just, let me make sure that they don't ask you anything else here. Yeah. Today we're just going to look at doing it with fractions, though. For example, here's an example. Let's see what the book says here. There are 12 boys and 18 girls in the class. There are 12 boys and 18 girls in the class. A little exclamation point there. The question is, what is the ratio of boys to girls? What is the ratio of boys to girls? Question mark. Okay, and here is the deal with this. You have to be very careful because, okay, the order counts a lot here. If you're looking for boys to girls, that means when you do your fractions, the boys, the first one listed has to go on top, and the second one has to go on the bottom. Boys to girls. So then you have to substitute in here. We know that there were 12 boys and there were 18 girls. So the ratio is 12 to 18, but we do need to reduce. We do need to reduce this. What can I divide them both by? Divide them both by 6. Let's just skip right to the chase. And the final ratio is 2 to 3. Okay, when it's a ratio, you say 2 to 3. You don't say 2/3. If they ask you for the ratio, I mean, when you read it, it is the fraction 2/3, but when you read it, you say the ratio is 2 to 3 because it's a ratio. Because I wouldn't say there's 2/3 boys. I mean, in reality, there's 2/3 of a boy per every girl, but that doesn't make a lot of sense to us. Now, what if I flip that around and ask you for the ratio of girls to boys? Well, it's that same thing, except girls was listed first, so you'd have to put the 18 on top. So the ratio of girls to boys is 18 over 12. It still needs to be reduced, okay, and it's 3 over 2. When you talk about ratios, you do leave them as improper, okay? They're still reduced, but they're left as improper. So the ratio of girls to boys is 3 to 2. Okay, again, you wouldn't say there's one, I mean, you could say there's 1.5 girls for every boy, but that just kind of goose people up. It's a lot easier to say it's 3 to 2. Okay, and like I said, there's a couple different ways to show ratios. One of them is in fraction form, and that's pretty much what we're going to use. Another way is sometimes you'll see books just use colons, where they go, the ratio is 3 to 2. That means the same thing, or they could actually use the word 3 to 2. Either one of those all mean the same thing as that fraction sort of thing there. Nicholas, sir.
Can the ratio for our class just be 9 to 11?
Yeah, because you can't reduce it anymore. Depends if you talk boys to girls or girls to boys. Which one is there 9 of? Girls. So if you said if the ratio is 9 to 11, it would have to be the ratio of girls to boys. Because the first one listed has to go on top. Yeah, you can't reduce that, so that's just the way it is here. Let's just look at one. Maybe I'm going to fire this up here. It's been a while since we've pulled this up here. We are on lesson, what, 90-something?
99. 7.
Which one is this?
99. No, 96. I'm party when you do that. No, I want 100.
Now let's just take a look at an example right out of the book here, and you'll see how easy this is. there were 20 prairie dogs and 30 jackrabbits in a section of the Texas High Plains. Letter A says, what was the ratio of jackrabbits to prairie dogs? And again, let me reiterate, first one given goes on top. So it's 30 jackrabbits to 20 prairie dogs. And again, you'd have to reduce that. You divide them both by 10. You end up with 3-2 for letter A. Letter B says, what was the ratio of prairie dogs to jackrabbits? You know, I'm pretty sure you could probably figure out it's the same thing over here, just flipped over. Okay. Letter C says, if there's 8 Red Sox to 10 Blue Sox, what was the ratio of Red Sox to Blue Sox? 8 red to 10 blue, so that is a ratio of 4/5. And letter D says, what was the ratio of Blue Sox to Red Sox? That same thing, just flipped over. It is reciprocal, so not going to bore you with any more.
You're not boring.
So it's there, oh no.